students, I am Indra, your proprietor of Indra's Coaching Center, and today let us study how capital account of partners are maintained. So there are so many transactions which will affect the partner's capital. And what are those transactions? It could be interest on capital, it should be additional capital invested, it could be amount withdrawn, or it could be interest on drawings, salary or commission, or share in the profit or loss of the business. So all this will affect partner's capital and how it has to be taken. Anything which increases or which is going to increase the partner's capital has to be added, and anything which decreases a partner's capital has to be deducted. And what could be the amounts which is going to increase the capital? It could be additional capital invested, it could be interest on capital, it could be salary or commission, and it could be a share in the profits. And what are the amounts or entries which is going to deduct the partner's capital? So that would be drawings, it could be interest on drawings, or it could be any losses of that particular business. So how are we going to maintain capital accounts? There are two methods of maintaining capital accounts. The first method, fixed capital method, and fluctuating capital method. Now what do you mean by fixed capital method and what do you mean by fluctuating? The word fixed says the capital remains fixed. Then is the capital of the partner just going to be remain fixed? Is it not going to change? No, there are two accounts which has to be maintained. One would be the fixed capital and the other one would be the current account. Under fixed capital account, we take the amount which capital is fixed, any additional capital invested, and in case they have withdrawn the capital permanently, then it would be taken in the fixed capital account. And all other adjustments which would be interest on capital, it could be salary, it could be commission, it could be share in the profits or losses, or it could be temporary drawings or interest on drawings, will be adjusted in current account, which will keep changing. It might increase, it might decrease. Then account might also show a debit balance or a credit balance. This kind of method or this type of method is actually used by the producers or the manufacturers, where the amount of investment of capital would be a huge amount. Let me say, for an example, they have invested around 8 lakhs in the business. So 8 lakhs is just not going to be used as a working capital or used for your day-to-day expenses. What are we going to do? So they are going to divide it. Maybe around 6 lakh would be as fixed capital and 2 lakhs which is called as the working capital. Fixed capital will be used for purchase of fixed assets. Whereas working capital will be used for day-to-day expenses. Maybe they are purchasing of raw materials, maybe payment of wages or salaries or any day-to-day expenses. So generally big large scale organizations where the capital invested is more, or they're going to invest an amount in the fixed assets like maybe land or building or machine or computers or something like that. So that time capital would be separated. One huge amount would be as fixed capital and a smaller amount would be called as a working capital, wherein this capital will keep changing and fixed capital will remain fixed as long as they don't buy any fixed assets. Next, fluctuating capital. The word fluctuating itself says the capital is going to keep changing. So when the capital is going to keep changing, that means all the adjustments relating to the capital, it could be interest on capital, it could be additional capital, it could be salary, it could be commission or amount of drawings, or interest on drawings or any share in the profit and loss account, which has to be taken only to this particular account, and there is only one account being maintained. And because of all these transactions, the capital will be fluctuating or it will keep changing, and that is why it is called as fluctuating capital method. And this method might be adopted by maybe the wholesalers or the retailers, where they don't invest a huge amount. They might have just an amount because they are not going to buy a machine or something like that. So therefore, the amount of capital will also be less, and their method of maintaining capital will also be fluctuating. I hope you have understood. So here, under fixed capital method, you will have two capital accounts. One is fixed capital account and the other one would be called as a current account. Whereas under fluctuating capital account, there will be only one account which will be called as capital account, and this account will keep changing. Whereas under fixed capital method, this capital will remain fixed unless and until there is an additional capital invested or there is permanent drawings. Whereas current account will be fluctuating. I hope you have understood, and let me give you a format as to how fixed capital will be prepared, how current account would be prepared, and how capital account under fluctuating capital account will be prepared. Teach you the format now. Under fixed capital method, I told you there will be two accounts opened. One capital which will remain fixed and it is called as partner's capital account. The other one which will be changing or fluctuating, which is called as partner's current account. The word current, you think of your electricity, which will always keeps fluctuating. So let me write the entries. The first entry here, this always would show a credit balance. By balance, brought down. I assume A and B are partners. By bank account, this is the additional capital. In case there is withdrawals permanently, then you have to write it on this side. To bank account, that is the debit side. Permanent withdrawal. Close the account. Total. Total. To balance. Carried down. And by balance, brought down. Fixed capital account will always show a credit balance. Coming to partner's current account, the word current there, it keeps fluctuating because all the adjustments will be written in the current account. And current account can show a debit balance or a credit balance. So here I am writing it on the credit side. By balance, brought down. And I write here credit balance. I can take A as credit balance and B as debit balance also. To balance, where you feel he has withdrawn more, so automatically the balance would be written on the debit side. Coming to the other adjustments, by interest on capital, whatever is going to increase, the capital of the partners has to be written on the credit side. By salary, by commission on this side, to drawings, to interest on drawings. Permanent withdrawals is taken on the debit side, but whereas temporary withdrawals is taken on the debit side of the current account. Permanent withdrawals is taken on the debit side of the capital account. Then coming to a share in the profits or losses, that would be profit and loss appropriation account. The previous videos I have done profit and loss appropriation account, and then when we balanced, we divided the profits. So if it is profits, it is going to be on the credit side. In case it is loss, the same entry would appear on the debit side. Just right there, share in profits. Then we close the account. Total to balance, carry down, and by balance brought down. This is how the two accounts would appear under fixed capital method. Now let me teach you how an account would appear under the fluctuating capital method. We finished the partner's capital account under fixed capital method, and now I have written partner's capital account format under fluctuating capital method. There are no much changes. There's only one capital account which is prepared, and all the adjustments relating to the partner's capital is recorded in only one account. And because of all these entries, which is interest on capital, salary, commission, or share in the residual profit, deducting the drawings and interest on drawings, the capital starts off fluctuating, and that is why it is called as fluctuating capital method. So under fluctuating capital method, there is only one capital account which is maintained, and all the transactions are recorded in the same capital account. But whereas under fixed capital method, there are two capital accounts prepared, one capital which remains fixed and the other one which keeps changing, which is called as partner's current account. In the next class, I will be taking problems relating to maintaining partner's capital account. Thank you.